Hello again, Steve here with a few comments on what I'm going to call a changing of paradigm. I would say that, I was at an event last night, Toastmasters event, as I often go, and we have a theme for the evening, which is that it's something that we'll try to run along, a theme. And the theme was predicting the future. And so everybody had a chance to comment on what they thought about predicting the future. And my comment was that the universe goes in cycles, or the world goes in cycles, or we go in cycles, and so on, which is there's night and day, and there's this year, and there's next year, and so on, winter, summer, and whatnot. And there's also cycles of, confidence and lack of confidence, and the right wing and the left wing, and all that sort of thing. And we see this march towards more tyrannical socialism for sure. But within any march, even within the march down or the march up or whatever, there's still the ups and downs. There's never straight lines. And right now I see a shift, a paradigm shift, which probably began, from my experience anyways, about 20 years ago when, the detax movement and stuff started to come out, which is this I would call a liberty movement, but it's been always there. It's just that the rise of it, right? And it's been rising, when you start to see people imprisoned, like Dean Clifford and Tommy Robinson and so on, you see that the socialist entrenched interests, the authoritarian entrenched interests are trying to hang on to their power. But you see it nevertheless, you see even in the political sense, you see the swing over towards more center-right movements, such as the Donald Trump, there's the Brexit, Italy, Austria and Hungary and Poland, the different places. But I mean, it's the spectrum is different in each country, but you see that sort of a swing taking place. I also see it culturally, because when I first started talking about Donald Trump in terms of politics was back in the June of 2015 when he first announced, and I was looked at as a complete asinine fool to say that this guy has any chance whatsoever. And my comment was, well, did you ever think about what he's actually accomplished? I mean, the lineup of 17 people, this guy has accomplished a lot. What have they accomplished? The guy is a marketing, branding genius, and you think that he's a complete fool. I mean, it's unbelievable to me. But anyways, when he was elected, a lot of the people who I knew, who I had talked about this, they no longer talk to me. I mean, seriously, I've been labeled even, and even though I was just making comments. But what I notice now, so from the time he was elected, Trump was elected, until now, what I see now is a swing taking place, which is that there are people, mostly men, but at least even them, who are beginning to talk about Donald Trump. I mean, I'm not talking about negatively or positively. They're actually talking about him. Before, when he was first elected, there would be snide remarks. There would be little chuckles. There'd be all this sort of stuff going on. But that's not talking about anything. That's the opposite of talking, really. That's just sort of triggered behaviors and what have you. But actually talking about it, like at this event last night, Toastmasters of all places, very, very politically neutral. There were, I think, 3 comments to do with Donald Trump. One guy was saying that he was very fascinated with what Trump was doing in Korea. Fascinated. But not a negative fascination, just fascinated in general. And another guy giving a speech, he referred to my buddy Donald Trump and fake news. Right in the Toastmasters meeting. It was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. I don't know if anybody knows. And everybody laughed at it. But they didn't laugh at it in a mocking way. They laughed at it as a social commentary that's going on now. It laughed at it as an acceptance of what is, right? And somebody brought up, how Nostradamus was able to predict the future. And I made the point that later on when it was my turn to comment, I said, it's interesting you mentioned Nostradamus, because I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that Nostradamus had said that the trumpets will rule the world, right? And apparently Trump means trumpet in some Germanic language. And once again, it was a chuckle. People got a joke. It was funny because it was like, people kind of accept it now. And this guy is becoming more socially legitimate. So, and that's my observation of the paradigm shift beginning to tip over the other side. There's an arc of the paradigm shift going up. There's lack of acceptance. What's the old saying? First they mock it, and then they kind of accept it, and then it becomes the truth, right? So and that's part of the arc, or the arc, whatever direction it's going. It's going up. It's still the old paradigm is in power, but then it begins to switch over, and you see that new paradigm. Where it goes from there, whether it's up or down, in terms of trends will go up and down until they finally break and then go the other way. So there's the momentary paradigm shifts within the major trend, and there's the major trend. Is this a major trend change? I don't know, but nevertheless, it's an observation of the change beginning to take place. And in the area near where I live, you see this starting to happen. You see this radical leftist, Wynne, who is running Ontario, this radical woman, a socialist, and now people were so fed up they elected basically a drug dealing right winger, whose brother was basically shamed out of the mayoralty of Toronto to run the province of Ontario, a right winger, right, or supposedly a right winger, progressive conservative they call it. But yeah, so I think that men are being emboldened to finally make comments and not be just immediately shot down. And to me, that is an observation of the paradigm shift beginning to happen. If you like what I'm doing, please like, subscribe, and share, and comment in the box below. Steve here again. Great chatting. Talk again soon. Bye for now.